So many apologies to those that were watching before. I had to ditch the live because there was a few technical issues. So I've ended the live and then I've just restarted. I had to ring somebody back. So my many apologies. I did say give me a few minutes just to come back on. But yeah, I was talking about Reiki and Reiki teaching and the online courses that I'm seeing a lot of lately, the very, very cheap ones, the absurdly cheap ones, which is what I'm mainly focusing on. And yay, you hear me, finally. Right, okie dokie. So I do apologize for that. Obviously, it's nothing I can really control, it's nothing I can do, but like you said, I've just seen your comment there, Cheryl, and like you said, there has been a lot of glitches lately on YouTube. It seems to be a bit up and down. And I was recently on a YouTube call, and it was to do with creators that are making an impression on YouTube, and obviously by doing more lives or having a membership. And a lot of people on that call were saying how many issues they were having with YouTube, and also how the viewers and the watch time had really dropped because whatever they do with the algorithm or whatever it is that they talk about, this algorithm thing had changed. So it's been affecting a lot of people. But I do think there's a lot of other things that have been going on with YouTube as well. It has been a bit glitchy. So I don't know. It's out of my control, so it is what it is. But I'm back now anyway. So as I was saying before we were cut off, I was just talking about how I'm trying to expose a little bit of truth in the Reiki circles, and especially with anybody that is wanting to learn Reiki and wanting to learn how to become a practitioner or a Reiki master teacher, and to just be mindful. They messed something up. Well, they've obviously done something. They've done something. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do at YouTube head office or whatever. But yeah. And every now and again they say that it's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. They always say at some point, they're like, oh, it's in easy mode. Upload as much as you can to get as much like viewership or whatever. But like, well, what's easy mode? What's that? What's that got to do with anything? I just think it's all ludicrous. So anyway, yeah. So that's kind of like what I was talking about. So if anything, if you see a Reiki course and it seems too good to be true, then it probably is. And there's an old saying that we often use. If it's too cheap, then there's a reason for it. So yeah. So I've just been making some content this morning. I did a little video for TikTok. It'll be going on here at some point today. I'll be uploading it as well. It'll go in the scheduled videos that I have piled up for the members to watch first. And basically about like what to look for and what to be mindful of and what to be careful of when looking for a Reiki teacher or wanting to learn Reiki or want to learn a Reiki course. And just be mindful of what you are selecting. So the one that I shared in this video that will be coming out, it was, and ironically, the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm starting to see on social media, because we know they're always listening anyway. It had this it was an advert for this course, and it was levels 1 to Reiki Master, a weekend workshop. All 3 levels, all attunements, all the theory, and this, that, and the other, and this sort of guarantee of being able to practice and teach at the end of it, like from just 3 days, like really. So what I'm trying to get across to people is, Reiki it's about personal healing and personal development, and you focus on yourself before you start healing others or working with others or teaching others. So what I was trying to explain in the video that I made was, when I teach Reiki, I do a Reiki level 1, and I always say to leave it at least 4 to 6 months before you even think about doing Reiki level 2. Why, you may ask? Why so long? Why do these other people do it so fast, so quickly? Well, we have a lot of stuff to process. We have a lot of stuff to integrate. And when we're doing the self-healing practices, when we're doing the meditations, we're doing the mantras, we're working with the Reiki energy, which is your own energy, which is part of you. When you're starting to tap back into that, you're becoming more aware of things that you may have locked away, you may have trapped away, you may have forgotten about. Stuff comes up, stuff becomes unfolded, and we need to process it, we need to heal it, we need to integrate it. So that's why you need to leave it a little bit of time before Reiki courses. So then you do a Reiki 2 course. How long between Reiki 2 and Reiki Master? I always say leave it 9 months to a year. You think, wow, that's a long period of time. I could just learn Reiki in a weekend. Well, you could learn Reiki all 3 levels in a weekend, but you're going to have a lot of energetic issues. And I've had to help and support people that have learned Reiki online over the years, and they've done a Reiki course and they've done all 3 levels in 2 or 3 days, and it's come to maybe a few months after that training, and they have some sort of crisis, something like an energy crisis. All this stuff starts bubbling up from within that they've kind of forgotten about. That's why we have to take our time with this stuff. It's not just it's not woo-woo, it's not make-believe, it's true. Energy is everything, and everything that we work with, everything that we are, starts to become visible to ourselves. And sometimes we don't want to see things again that we've pushed away. That's why we push it away. So we need to process it, we need to deal with it, we need to integrate it and work through whatever trauma, whatever stuff it is that we've had to shut away. That's why we need to leave it time between each of the levels. It's a process. It's a process of healing and self-discovery. And as you discover more about yourself, then you're healing yourself, you're healing your patterns, you're healing all the things that have taken place, that have brought you to the here and now, that have maybe you've come across Reiki, maybe you've come across meditation, maybe you've come across your own healing journey through your own suffering, as it were, and you've been guided to find it, to use it, to learn more about it. And that's what happened to me through mental health, through addiction, through anxiety, through panic attacks, through skin flare-ups, through aches and pains in the body. It was through all of that I was drawn to start trying to do some meditation, where I was introduced to that, and then I was drawn to do Reiki through. And the only reason why I changed Reiki was because when I started meditating, it gave me a lot of clarity. I moved jobs. I went to a different place of work. That different place of work had leaflets about Reiki. A little bell in the back of my head went ping, and the journey unfolded, and it continues to unfold. And now I just feel it's my duty. Now I'm at the point where I want to share more information about some of these charlatans that are out there that are trying to teach the 3 levels of Reiki over a weekend for a very, very low price. And it's giving authentic teachers and authentic practitioners a bit of a bad name. And we have to kind of fight our corner. And it's, the Reiki, I was thinking about this morning, I was cogitating on it a little bit. The Reiki principles is all about letting go of worry and letting go of anger. And yeah, I suppose some of this stuff, it does create a little bit of that. It creates a little bit of frustration, really, that these courses are out there and available. And I'm aware that they're available, and I'm not letting it affect me, but what I'm using it as leverage and a catalyst to help to support others that might want to step onto this journey of healing, but don't know where to turn. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to find a Reiki teacher or find a practitioner or find someone that can give them some healing on some level. So that's what this channel's all about. It's about helping you on your journey, being supported by Reiki, whatever I put on here, but whether it's Reiki, whether it's meditations, whether it's hypnotherapy, whether it's EFT, they're all tools designed to support you, to support your mental health, to support wherever you may be in life. And that's what this channel's all about. So if that's something that is pulling you in with a little bit of interest and a little bit of intrigue, you want to find out a little bit more about yourself, please do subscribe to the channel and give this live a thumbs up, and check out our different playlists. I've got a lot of different playlists with a lot of different content that I've been making for 5-6 years now, and as my journey unfolds, so does this journey. because I become aware of things that people need to be aware of or people need to hear about. And this is one of them. This is one of them, that the fact that there are courses out there that are ridiculously cheap and giving people this guarantee about something that can't really be guaranteed. It's down to the self. It's like anything in life. If you want to change, if you want to move from one trajectory in life, you've got to change yourself first. And that's where Reiki meditation teaches us about ourselves. It teaches about the mind. It teaches about how we think, how we process, how we move through life. And until we start to change that aspect of ourselves that's always creating the negative thoughts, the negative aspects, we're never going to truly change. Cheryl, for the viewers, Ian has a fantastic meditation voice, very relaxing. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. That's very kind. It may affect people wanting to get a Reiki session. Well, exactly. And I think, there's been a few comments as well on social media where they've said, it's just AI, don't worry about it, or it's just a bot, or it's a scam. And that being said, it could be AI, it could be a scam, probably is a scam, and it could be a bot. However, if people are drawn into it, then there needs to be some awareness shone on it. And there needs to be a level of education for people to be able to say, hang on a minute, that doesn't really sit right with me. And that comes down to discernment, and it comes down to your own intuition as well. So it's all part of, in essence, it's part of the whole cycle of learning, learning about yourself. Because if you get pulled in and you get sucked into something quite easily, then there's something that you need to learn about yourself there. You need to learn to just just take a moment, put the brakes on, and just sit with yourself. How does that feel for you, rather than just jumping straight in with both feet? Just pause and reflect and listen to what your intuition's telling you. So in effect, it's the fact that these are out there. I never thought about this way, but the fact that these adverts are out there, it's a real great testing ground for your own intuition, for your own ability to be able to read, that seems a little bit too good to be true. Let me just sit with this one. Let me meditate on it and just see what I feel, or what my guides feel, or what my inner voice is telling me to do, rather than just jumping straight in. So in effect, maybe it's helping people to be more aware that there is a lot of crap out there, and we need to be more mindful of it, and we need to be more mindful and discerning with the actions that we take. And I'm only sharing this information through my own passion for Reiki and meditation, the practices that I use, for others to be aware. But also I'm sharing it through honesty and through integrity, through the honesty and the passion and the integrity that I feel within the system of Reiki, and how much it can help the world, and how much it can help each and every one of us through the various practices that we have within that system. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? Really interesting. And sometimes these things come around to make us just think, hang on a minute, is it there for this? Can you explain how it works? So Reiki works in the way of, let's break it down. So we need to break it down. So as a practitioner, what do we do? So we have daily meditations, we have daily self-healing practices, we have ways of calming the mind. As we calm the mind, we calm the body. As we calm the body, we calm the nervous system. The nervous system relaxes and you become more harmonious within yourself. You become calmer within mind and body. And so as you become calm within mind and body, you're not as involved within the intrusive thoughts, and you're more aware of your true nature, your true self, that spiritual essence that is within. That bright spark, that great bright light, as Mikao Usui, who was the founder of Reiki, often talked about. So when you become more balanced and more harmonious within the self, then other people feel that. So when you go for a Reiki treatment with a Reiki practitioner who's been working on themselves, you're helping to harmonize their own energy. And that energy is already an aspect of them. It's nothing separate. But my harmonious nature is helping to support them, to calm the nervous system, to know that they're in a calm, safe environment. Their own nervous system then is calming down, helping them to go into rest and digest, or parasympathetic. And once you go into rest and digest, your own body's natural healing abilities enhances, and so you're healing the whole time. So you're healing mind, body, and spiritual energy. Everything is interplaying and working internally. So that's kind of like what's happening in a nutshell. There's a lot of science that goes behind it as well. There's a lot of evidence that goes into the effectiveness of Reiki as well. And yeah, so it's out there and it's very, very powerful. So interesting, is there a difference between Reiki and mindfulness, or Reiki and psychological therapy, or are they similar? So they are very, very similar in a way. So Reiki itself is a system that's based in two philosophies: the philosophy of Zen Buddhism and Shinto Buddhism, and that's how they originated within Japan. And that's how Mikao Usui found it through, because he was a Buddhist priest in Japan. And as those systems came together, so did the system of Reiki. And so through meditation, through mantra, through the principles, the precepts, through knowing that this energy, this God energy, this universal life force energy flows through everyone and everything, that is the Shinto aspect of Buddhism, knowing that there is spirit or God in everything. And then so connecting the two together through meditation, through your meditation practices, you're getting closer to the true nature of life, of true nature of you, true nature of everything. So when we're using meditation, when we're using mindfulness, we tend to be going towards the same thing. We're going towards, when we're using mindfulness, let's break this down. So mindfulness is the external aspect of ourselves. So we use mindfulness, such as looking into a candle flame. That is mindfulness, watching the flame move left and right, being mindful of the flame, of what it's doing, just watching it and just allowing everything to calm down. The ticking clock, the shaman's drum, the rustle of the leaves, the bird song, that is all mindfulness. So that is the mindful aspect of ourselves that we're connecting to. We're just allowing everything to just relax into the mindful moment. That is a tool that takes us deeper into the self to go into a meditative practice. So we use mindfulness, or as Eckhart Tolle calls it, presence, to become more aware and more present within the self. So that's the tool that we use to become more meditative, which is very, very close. In fact, it pretty much is the same as what we're using with mantra, with the breath, with the Reiki principles, the Reiki precepts. That's what we're using to take ourselves deeper into the present moment, to become aware of the energetic self. And that's where your Reiki, your own energy is, and it permeates. So when we're talking about psychological therapies, again, very, very similar, but usually with psychological therapies, there's normally a lot of communication, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of back and forth. However, through talking, through the back and forth, through the interplay, through the ideas, through the counseling, through the psychotherapy, through EMDR and things like that, that talking as well is an energetic aspect. So we're talking about things that we're feeling. We're talking about things that we need to maybe let go of. Maybe we need to be aware of. And when we're in a Reiki treatment, we're usually shown, or we become aware through colour, through signs, through synchronicities, through symbols, through various aspects of what may be going on within the self. That's how we become aware. So in turn, everything is doing what it needs to within, and then after the treatment, you can talk about that. You can express what you felt, what you saw, what you were aware of. And then that as well helps with the healing process. So there we go. So I hope that reveals a little bit more to you, Jake, about the whole process. But thank you for your questions. They've been very good, very very enlightening. You know, to like different interests, different takes as well. So it's good how it all points back to the self. It all points back to the one. And I was reading a book yesterday, and it was the little book of yoga, and the actual the inside page of the book of yoga, it actually said, "You don't do yoga, you are yoga." And that was very interesting for me as a Reiki practitioner, because we say the same thing. We say, you don't do Reiki, you just become Reiki, or you are Reiki. So and for me, that's always pointing back to the self. It's pointing back to the I. It's pointing back to the truth, of who we truly are, the energy, the spirit in form. Jake, I appreciate the time to answer. Synchronicity is very interesting. Can you give me a personal example of when you've experienced a synchronicity? All the time. Synchronicities can be as subtle as seeing 11:11 on the clock. It can be as simple as hearing a song, and that song giving you a message from spirit. It can be things such as you think of somebody, and then the next day you see them, or you bump into them, and that happens to me quite a lot. I mean, I talked about this on a live not so long ago, but in a supermarket I used to work in years ago, there was a guy there on the bakery, in the supermarket, and he was a lovely guy, and what have you. And just one day, I just thought, I wonder how he's getting on. I wonder how he's doing, because I know he was going through like a lot of shit, And I thought, I wonder how he's getting on. And then the next day, it was ridiculous, because he doesn't live in the same town. I don't even know where he lives anymore, and I haven't seen him for over 30 years. The next day he walks in the shop. Like, how do you explain that? But you're just tapping into the frequency, and you're being guided, you're being shown that you're on the right path, and that's what synchronicity is telling us. So, yeah, that's what I think of it as in a nutshell. The world is not okay right now. What to do? Yeah, you've basically got to focus on you. You've got to get yourself right. The world is never going to be, with the kind of systems that we have in play that are trying to pull the wool over our eyes. The world is never going to be at peace. However, when we find peace within the self, then you will start to find peace within the world, because the Maharishi effect shows that and explains that when we find peace, or when thousands of people, like hundreds of Tibetan monks, when they meditate, the crime rate drops. So if we find love and peace within ourselves, then love and peace will only transcend to the world beyond us, to those that are around us, and they will have a wonderful effect from that. And that's the thing is, it's what's happening at the minute, because people are waking up and people are becoming more aware of the systems that are in place, the way that we've been lied to for hundreds of years, and how everything has been hidden. People are starting to wake up to truth, to reality of what we really are, and that is exposing a lot of the crap that is going on in the world. That's what's creating it. So the dark can't be seen without the light. So the more light that we shine onto it, the more we see it, the more we're aware of it, the more that's being exposed. However, there's also a lot of manipulation within that, because we get shown a lot of shit. We get shown a lot of crap that isn't true. We get shown a lot of stuff that's AI. We get shown a lot of stuff that looks convincingly real, and we've seen this throughout the COVID pandemic. We've seen a lot of stuff that seems legit, but actually isn't. So yeah, and that's used manipulatively to keep us kind of like pinned down. So the more we step away from that, the more that we step into intuition, into our light, into discernment, into gratitude and honesty within the self, the more it heals ourselves and the world around us. And that's all that we can do. You can shout, you can shout, you can fight, you can get as angry as you want. But the thing is, the system wants you angry because it feeds off that. That's what feeds it. Synchronicity is thought-provoking indeed. However, in my opinion, if my mind looks for selected numbers and patterns, then I'm more likely to find them, hence validating my beliefs of supernatural. This is very true. I mean, this is something else that I've covered before on the channel about this, is some people become so easily led by seeing everything that they have to follow that straight away. Like, oh my God, I've got 11 viewers, that must mean something. It's 11 o'clock, that must mean something. You know, rather than just thinking, I've got 11 viewers, it's 11:32. So what? You know, but sometimes certain things happen, not just with numbers, but certain things happen, like you think of somebody, you see them the next day. It's just like those random occurrences that you can't really explain. That's true synchronicity. But if we're constantly looking for numbers, then I do agree, yeah, we're constantly looking for them and it's never going to be special. It's never going to mean something. But until we let go of that, again, letting go, until we let go of that belief that every single number that we see has a meaning, then we're going to be constantly searching. And if we're constantly searching, we're never in the present. We're never in the present moment. So we've got to be grounded with that as well. Ishan, hello. Cole, I don't believe in meditation. That's fine. Where are you from, boy? I'm not a boy. Jake, I think there is a difference between when the conscious kind is seeking validation, like you say, Ishan, and when truly random events provoke psych. Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying, really. Ishan, I agree there are many random events happening all the time. Indeed, life is very random, even existence in my view. And that's what I find freeing as well, the unpredictability of it all. Absolutely. And, you know, and I think if we think that everything is structured and everything has to go a certain way, or we have to follow this set of numbers because we're being shown and that number means that, and that's my life destiny number, so I need to follow that, and why isn't that happening? Oh my God, it's all falling apart, yada yada yada. Then it creates concern, it creates worry, you get frustrated, you get annoyed, you're out of the present moment. So yeah, you become attached. Absolutely, that's attachment. You become attached to what you need. And in essence, what do we really need? You know, so yeah, we've just got to be careful. You know, this whole spiritual game, it gets tossed around, and the word gets used far too loosely, for my mind, and that's where I always say that if you want to do anything like this, you want to do any of this sort of work, you've always got to be grounded. You've got to work from your root chakra. You've got to be grounded in thought, grounded in mind, rather than being so out there with your thoughts, with your ideas, with what you're following, this, that, and the other. Oh my God, da 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 da. You know, you're just following an illusion. But if you become grounded in body and mind, then you become more aware, you become more present, you become more seated within your own power, and you're not just being pulled left, right, and center to every little whim and every little number that comes into your reality, I suppose. What's your thoughts on post-death? Do you mean like sort of reincarnation, or what do you mean by that? Do you mean like what happens after us, after this physical life? I mean, we'll never truly know until it happens to us, but we can have a concept, we can have a theory. Um, I believe that we go back to source, we go back to home, whether you want to call that heaven, whether you want to call that God, whether you want to call it the universe, but energy never dies, and consciousness always exists. Um, and I also believe that when we go back there, sometimes we need to do some healing. Sometimes we need to go back to the one source to recalibrate, to maybe we've had a life of karma. Maybe we need to learn from that karma. We need to learn, we go back and we learn that actually a little bit like what Dolores Cannon says in a lot of her stuff is when you go back on the other side, you realize that it's all a play, and you're the writer, you're the script writer, you're the director, you're the actor, you're in the wings, watching, ready for the next play, ready for the next actor to come on. So everything is an aspect of you, and you are an aspect of everything. And I think that's what we come to realize. But I think because of the dimension that we're in currently, because it's so physical and it's so dense, we've got to learn a lot of the suffering. We've got to learn a lot of the patterns. We've got to learn from a lot of past lives. We've got to learn from each other. We've got to learn about what creates triggers and reactions and anger, and what helps us to forgive, what helps us to let go. So yeah, there's a lot. But I think when we go back, I mean, when I've taken people and they've crossed over and they've gone to that place between lives where they're in the spiritual realm, when I've taken them in hypnotherapy, oh my gosh, the cat's attacking my printer. But it's just been a very loving presence. And when we're in meditation as well, when we go into deep meditation, we feel that. We feel our ancestors and our guides around us. We feel our own energy. And we realize that we are an aspect of everything. So, yeah. Mary, are you okay? I hate how people are so rude to you. People are people. You're always going to get that. So it is what it is. Ishan, a bit of a paradoxical belief statement though, yes. Lack of belief in God, but believe in God within. I suppose human language and vocabulary is just too limited to discuss divine and spirituality. Yeah, I mean, I believe in a God. I believe that there is an energetic frequency that's out there that is a part of everything, and we are a part of it. So in terms of that, yeah, we are that as well. But I think the way it's been used in a propaganda setting with regards to religion, I don't believe in a man in the clouds, but I do believe in an almighty force and energy. I mean, what happened before the Big Bang that we told about? What happened before that? How are we selected for birth? Why is it that when you look into numerology and your birth sign and all that sort of stuff, why is it that, like I've done before in the past with different people, have looked at my numerology and looked at different things about me and life path, and it all makes sense. So yeah, I think there's a lot more to it than what we can tangibly know. And I think, like I say, we're never going to really know until the time comes. But from the things that I've felt and experienced in meditation and in astral body and out of body experience and things like that, I just know that it's extremely loving, guiding, And the more we find it, the more we connect to it, the more we connect away from the realm of this world that is trying to keep us anchored. Senor Ghost, just a message needed, shared worldwide. Why must we argue with each other about right or wrong, real or fake, stuff out of our control? Instead, we should focus. We should love, care, be kind, and help each other. Yeah, absolutely. I get a little caught up in this sort of language, especially when my brain is in scientific, empirical evidence mode, but I find thinking more symbolically and mythologically opens other truths. I appreciate your honesty and willingness to say when you aren't sure. Loving your channel as always. Thank you very much. Well, it's been wonderful to have so many wonderful, amazing questions and people that are curious about different things, because it just shows that people's level of consciousness is changing on the planet. People are becoming a lot more aware of things, becoming a lot more open to just the density of the mind, of the thought, and that there is something a little bit more that we can't tangibly see or touch, but we just have an awareness of. And I think when we start just having that awareness, it opens other pathways, other neurons within the body, that we start to be more sensitive, we start to feel more, we start to just be aware of more around us. Loving your channel as always. Hello, my friend. Hello, hello, hello. Wayachaka. Al, morning. Morning, Ian. Morning, hi, Cheryl. I'm in Alabama, USA. Welcome from Alabama. All the way from Alabama. Have you got any broader society level projects happening outside of YouTube? I don't really know how to answer that. So, I mean, I share a lot of this sort of stuff over on TikTok as well. Obviously, I use Facebook and Instagram, but I like to do art. I'm an artist as well. I'm also a musician. I've got another YouTube channel called Art and Music with Ian, where I'm just starting it off. Really, it's got 8 subscribers at the minute. So feel free to go and check that out if you like. And yeah, I'm just sharing stuff on there about art and music. I need to build the subscribers up on there so I can go live, because ideally what I'd like to do on that channel is go live and share music, share ways of playing guitar, what I've learned over the years, but also share art, painting, painting techniques, artwork techniques, things like that. So that's kind of like what I'm wanting to build that up for. But again, it's having the time to do it, really, because I want to maintain this channel and keep in touch with you guys, with the members, with the followers, with all the subscribers and what have you, and keeping it going and building this community, because it's such a wonderful place to be able to build community with other people. So yeah, and just sharing the power and the wisdom of meditation, of Reiki, of things that we can learn about ourselves from those practices as well. I love the blues videos you shared. Thank you. Yeah, I love playing blues. I love blues music. There's so much feeling in it. It really is. Living Testimony, what's going on here? Welcome, Living Testimony. And yeah, I've just been chatting about Reiki and meditation. I've just been answering some questions about different things about Reiki, about post-death, about all sorts of different esoteric and spiritual things. That's what we've been talking about. Yeah, so if that intrigues you and you want to know a little bit more about that, then please do subscribe and follow the channel and give me a like and give me a thumbs up and check out some of my playlists. Doing this channel has been developing for the last sort of 5 or 6 years or so now. So, but it's been really wonderful. I've met some lovely people from around the world. So yeah, it's been good. Yeah, monster trucks and that. Yeah, So yeah, but no, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting to know some wonderful people who've become um, like members and subscribers and followers. So there we go. So I'm going to head off because I need to go and get prepared because I've got some clients for this afternoon. I need to go and have some lunch and get myself sorted for that. So it's been wonderful chatting. Thank you, as always, to my moderators and members and people that join in and watch the lives and watch my videos and keep in touch. So thank you for subscribing, Living Testimony, and I'll see you in another live, another video very, very soon. I've got a few videos backed up, so if you can't wait to watch them, please do join the membership. It's only a small amount of money or whatever. You get early access to them videos, and have a beautiful day. You too, Cheryl. Much love to you all, and do take care. Toodaloo for now. Bye-bye.